I just recorded this entire video on mute. Part 2. Rolled the tape. Okay, so here's the deal. You might have heard of the Pokemon community game. You may have even seen my tutorial on the Pokemon community game, but you know, the game has changed and it's time we do too. So today we're going to do an updated tutorial on how to add the Pokemon community game to your Twitch chat. You know, talk about what it is and how to use it as a player and a streamer, and how to maybe problem solve, plus a couple of little hidden features hiding, you know, within the many features that this bot offers. So let's start with just going over what the bot is. So I'm over here on my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/brich14. Link is in the description. Shameless plug. I have the Pokemon community game. I have for a while. I was an early adopter, and I've been around just, you know, existing in the community silently for, you know, forever. But we have the panel. The panel is everything. The panel tells you what your Pokemon are, what you have for items, how you can battle, your Pokedex, and a bunch of other little secrets that we might go over. But how do you add the panel? How do we get the extension? The extension is linked in their Discord. The extension will be linked in this channel's video description, this video's description, or you can just search it. You come on over to the extensions part of your settings. If you're familiar with streaming on Twitch, you should be familiar with your Twitch dashboard. And by going to the 3 lines up in the top that may be hidden right now, we call it the hamburger, and you navigate all the way down to the extensions tab, you can then just search Pokemon community game. When you hit enter, it's the only one that comes up. Alternatively, you can just click the link in the description. Regardless, it should bring you to this page that talks about what the extension is. And all you need to do is hit install. You can hit configure, but you know, there's nothing to configure, so just close the pop-up and activate the panel. How do I activate the panel? Well, you click on My Extensions. You may have been on Discovery before, but you click on My Extensions in the same spot we just went over, and it'll be in one of these installed ones. So you have all the ones you've activated and the ones that you've installed, or maybe you have none. Regardless, you'll click this button that says activate and then choose one of the panels to set it as. Mine's already set as panel 1, as you can see right down here. And once you do that, you're literally good to go. Like, it is on your channel now, at least visibly. So we can go over back to Twitch and then maybe actually hit the right button and go to my channel. And you'll have to wait for the internet to load and maybe hear my own tutorial of my own channel. But, you know, you come on down here and suddenly it's in your, you know, existence. And so if you've already used the bot before, you should be able to see your Pokemon. That means, like, if you've gone into someone's chat and you've already interacted with the bot in the past as a player, you should be able to see your own Pokemon and your own inventory and your own everything. If not, well, that's where we get to the Discord. And the Discord should be linked in the panel itself. It can be linked, I think, in the description of the extension as well. Somewhere in here. Maybe not. But regardless, it'll be linked in the description of this video. And what that'll lead you to is the actual Discord. So let's talk about everything that's in the Discord server for the Pokemon community game that might be useful to you, whether you're trying to set up the bot, interact with the bot, or just get some help because you're lost with the bot. Okay, so the big pieces here are that there are links, right, with everything you might need. There are links with an FAQ that you can click and it will open as a Google Doc. There are links to the extension if you somehow lose it or can't find it before now. There are all of the supported languages that they offer, which are English, Spanish, French, German, and Portuguese. If you are bilingual or trilingual or just multilingual in general, and want to help translate to another language, you can also do so by using the link in this channel. This is the streamer info channel under the description, the welcome category in the PCG Discord server. There are some OBS tools that we'll go over. We already talked about the Twitch extension, but there's also some Twitch panels that are just pictures that tell you some of the most common commands that you can use or how to interact with the bot most successfully. That's helpful for you as a streamer, because if your viewers keep asking you, how do I use that bot? How do we use that bot? Eventually it can be exhausting to answer that question every single time. So if you can just say, hey, look at the panels, and it's there, and everything that they'll need to interact as a casual user is there, then it makes your job a whole lot easier. Another pro tip, make a command for your chat that you can use that's either really easy to type or you can put like on a Stream Deck, and then all you need to do is hit the button that your command is attached to, or just type it, or get your mods used to typing it, and it like gives a little starter description for anyone who's not familiar with the bot. Mine is command journey because they're starting their journey today, and it tells them to use PokeStart, what they get when they use that command, and how to catch their first Pokemon or buy items in the chat. That's all I give them because that's all they really need. You might be wondering why I have a big question mark up on my screen right now, and I'll answer that by clicking this next tab that has a tiny question mark. And I will answer the question that this question mark poses by clicking the next button that has a timer on it. And these 3 resources, which you don't need all 3, you probably want to use only 2 of them, and I'll explain that in a moment, are going to help you and your chat kind of know what's going on with the bot at any given time on your screen visually. Because this is a universal bot, meaning every channel that is live on Twitch right now with the community game in that channel is seeing exactly the same spawns at exactly the same time. And right now, we're 2 minutes and 48 seconds from that next spawn. Everyone sees the same thing. So you'll get a message in your chat once you're whitelisted, we'll talk about that in a moment, that says a Butterfree has spawned in the chat. Use the command PokeCatch to catch that Butterfree. And everyone in the world that is using the bot has that message at exactly the same time with exactly the same Pokemon. Every 15 minutes, a new Pokemon will spawn, and this is the timer that you can add as a browser source to your OBS overlay. If you use Streamlabs OBS, it's also still a browser source. If you use Twitch Studio, still a browser source. And it'll display it up on the screen, and you can edit some of the things using color corrections. If the yellow doesn't work for you, you can drop the saturation out. That's up to you, but the timer will display and count down live at all times. When something spawns, you can choose to add either this overlay that shows the current Pokemon in a GIF form, or you can use this second one that shows the current Pokemon in a static image, and all of these are available in that same streamer info tab. There's also a version where you don't get the question mark for both of those. And all you need to do is take this link, copy it, and that is the link you put into the browser source. If you want to do this for the next spawn, this is the link you use for the browser source. I'm going to scroll down a little. This right here is a program that you can run on your computer that is the same timer, but it's a little bit more configurable. So you can make it more your own. If you want the simple version, just use the video or the one that's right here. Just use literally that link as the source for your browser source, and you'll be able to get the timer. If you want more customizability, download this program. You'll have to have it open in the background on your computer, and then you can change the font, etc., and make it more your own. And now, having waited the right amount of time, you'll see the timer says 1:12. There's a current spawn. That's how long the current spawn will stay on screen. So right now it's a Cutiefly. There's a minute left to catch this Cutiefly, and if you want the GIF version instead, it's much smaller, but animated, so you can see GIF of Cutiefly kind of hanging out instead of just a static image. My personal taste is to use the home sprites. I like static, clean Pokemon, but I know a lot of people that would prefer the animated version, so both are available. And again, the timer tells you how much time is either left to catch the Pokemon or left until the next spawn. Okay, let's get to a couple of the other really important things about the Discord. There are, I'm going to say 3 things that you'll want to keep in mind. And the most important one is, of course, how to actually add the bot to your Twitch account so that you can use it as a streamer. You want it to be able to send messages in your chat. And now you're going to want Discord and Twitch to be synced. You can do that through your own Discord integration settings. And I'm not going to go through that. That's a different tutorial. I recommend you look up how to integrate Twitch and Discord if you're not familiar with how to do that. But you'll want to make your way down to the category that literally says Pokemon Community Game. And then the bottom channel says Get Whitelisted as Streamer. And you can click the button. You'll remember I said at the beginning of the video, I recorded this whole thing without audio. I'm already whitelisted, but that message sent when I clicked the button. If you're not already whitelisted, it'll respond differently, but it'll either tell you you're whitelisted or tell you there's an issue, and it'll tell you what the issue is and hopefully how to resolve it. And then if you can't figure it out still, you come on over to this support tab and you ask someone in there for help. The bots are awesome. Which is the other thing I wanted to talk about. You can talk about bug reports and support at any time in this Discord. So if there's ever any concerns that you have, come on in here and kind of express them in the proper forum for people to both know that those problems exist and offer their solutions, whether that comes from fellow streamers that have experienced the same thing or the moderators and developers themselves that know exactly how this works. The last two things that you can use this Discord for are to learn how to battle, which we will go over shortly in a little while, and the Poke Daily, which is a daily task that I'm terrible at because things that I have to come back to daily slip my memory. But if you do remember, and you should remember, to come in and do this every single day, link your Twitch account to your Discord account, and then separately, you have to go into the correct channel, because you can't type in this one. So you go into the Poke Daily channel and use !connect. That'll connect your Twitch Poke Community Game account with your Discord account with the daily to make sure things pair correctly, because you'll get items in the actual bot by using the command here in the Discord. And you want to make sure, obviously, that those pair. You can get anything from common to mythical rewards and even potentially mythical Pokemon. And here are the odds on how likely you are to get those. Plenty of examples. I've already done mine today, but all you need to do is come on through. This person got a legendary reward. They literally won a Charmander and $6,000, which is awesome. Most people are going to get uncommon or common rewards like myself. And then more rarely, you'll see these kind of rare rewards that give you Wonder Passes or Night Balls or Premier Balls, and you might not know what these are, but we'll get to those in a moment. That's your Poke Daily. Another legendary reward. Oh, and that's an ultra rare reward. Very cool. Moving on from the Discord, because that's pretty much everything here. I want to go back to the panel and go over what is in the panel now that you've both added the extension to your channel and whitelisted, so that your server or your channel is actually available for people to explore and participate in the event, or not event, the bot, the overall thing, the whole thing. This is an example of one of the panels that you can use, and mine might be out of date, but there is an entire Google Drive of other versions of this that you can grab. Also going to be in the description of this video and in that streamer info channel in their Discord, but it gives a kind of breakdown of everything. What I care more about is looking at these right here, the actual extension. And so all of the Pokemon that you catch are going to be visible here in this extension, and you'll never run out of space, but you might end up with 5 Manteens. So you can interact with these in a variety of ways. You can search for things like their name or their ID number, etc. You can filter them by different orders. So you can pull them up by name, and that's going to be alphabetical, or by their number, which is going to pull up the lowest ID number and put them in order that way. If you want to go the opposite direction, flip the arrow and you'll see your highest number Pokemon. The price, because Pokemon can be sold, or you can even sort them by shinies, which again, I have 4 of. And you can just, there's a whole bunch of options. Explore. If you want to search for something, let's say I want to search for Marshadow, you can type in Marshadow and your Marshadow will show up. If you don't have it, it won't show up. Let's take a look at Pokemon. So Caterpie, I have this Caterpie. We know that its ID is number 10. It's level 13. It's a bug type. It has 38 HP. It has a whole bunch of stats. It has some moves. It has some info. And what does all this mean? Well, obviously the HP makes sense. If you've played Pokemon before, you know they have health points. Their level makes sense. Again, things that you've seen in Pokemon before. If you click the exclamation point, it'll tell you what items you can use to affect this Pokemon. Whether you've battled with it and you need to heal it, or you want to change its moves or its IVs, all of that can be done by clicking the exclamation point on that specific Pokemon. The question mark just tells you about that generic Pokemon. The base stats of Caterpie, its dex entry, its weight, the generation it comes from, and that's all. That's all that tells you for every single Pokemon available. If you click on the Two Swords Crossing, it brings up your team. And so if you want to add Caterpie to your team, but you already have a team of 6, all you need to do is 2 different ways of adding things to your team, depending on how you get there. If you go in from this actual Pokemon stat page, You just need to click on the Pokemon you want to replace, and you'll see that now Caterpie is where my Gossifleur previously was. You can also skip to a second team and just add it to any one of those slots. If I want to add Gossifleur back, let's do it the other way. So I can go to this tab with the sword, and if I click on that, the team that you just saw is there. If I right click on the Caterpie, it will just get removed from my team. Then I can go back to my Pokemon and I can search for Gossifleur, and I can click on the Gossifleur I want, and then I can add it back to the team. And now, if we go back into that page, you'll see the Gossifleur is back on my team. The next tab I want you guys to, or the next feature rather I want you to look at is this heart. This heart here is my buddy. So Gossifleur is my favorite shiny that I have found, and I've clicked it as my buddy. So if I ever use the command PokeBuddy in a chat, it'll bring up the stats and details about this Gossifleur. You can change that by clicking the heart on a different Poke. The last thing here is this exclamation point, which just locks the Pokemon, so you can't kind of, mess it up. Then you have all your stats, including its total IV average, all of the individual IVs that it has, nature boosts and, decreases, the moves that it has, again, the info, which talks about who caught it, what channel they caught it in, which is a link, by the way, so you can go back to that channel right from here, when you caught it, and what ball you caught it in. You can try to sell it, or you can try to trade it, but trading has a cooldown, and I did mine the first time I recorded this video. So that's the Wonder Trade system, and you click trade, it brings up a, do you want to Wonder Trade this Pokemon? And then you click Wonder Trade, and suddenly you get a different Pokemon. Again, the cooldown is a cooldown, so you can't do it more than, once every 3 hours. But if you really, really, really want to Wonder Trade again, I'm going to stop punching my microphone now. You can come on over to the second tab we're going to talk about, which is your inventory. And you might just find that you have a special item that we'll get to in a moment. But every item that you have in the Pokemon community game is going to be in this inventory. And as you buy new things or use other items you have, they'll increase or decrease in this inventory. All of them are pretty straightforward, but if you're ever like, I don't know what that does, just click on it. The Night Ball is a gloomy ball that works better on Dark-type Pokemon. You can sell it for $300. It has an 80% catch rate on Dark-type Pokemon. If we come all the way down here, you have potions and revives. Empty discs will relearn your whole moveset. IV resets do what they sound like they do. They change all the IVs of a Pokemon. Mood Mints will change their nature. And then this Wonder Pass allows you to Wonder Trade again. If you want, you can buy things like Wonder Passes or Ultra Balls or Pokeballs or Great Balls, all right here in the bot itself. And I recommend, if you're gonna buy balls, buy them in groups of 10. If you're familiar with how buying 10 Pokeballs works in the main series game, then you should know why you want to buy 10 here. And if you don't, I'm going to leave it up to you to figure it out. Buy 10 Pokeballs and then check your inventory. I'm going to buy my 10 Pokeballs, and you just click purchase. And this way, you keep the chat spam out of the Twitch chat, which is really nice for any streamer. Then there's obviously the money that you have. And Pokeballs cost 300 coins a piece, so how do I get money? You get money by literally existing in the channels of people that have the Pokemon community game. As you chat, you get money in the game at like a frequency of like a little bit of money every minute or so. The specifics of which are intentionally kept just a little bit hidden so that it can't be manipulated by people that kind of want to cheat. But it works very similarly to what I understand channel points on Twitch itself work as. So that means you can actually increase the amount of money you get by hanging out in chats. If you click on this icon here, go over to Jonas's channel and Demon Rider's channel and subscribe to them. This bot is totally free, so if you can subscribe to their channels to support them, that's incredibly appreciated, of course, but you also get 10% extra Pokemoney by doing so. So that's just an added bonus. There's also this battle coin shop that you can use coins that you might win through battling in participating in different events that they have, and these refresh every month. And right now you can buy yourself a Hisuian Arcanine, or Goodra, a Quilava, a Alolan Ninetales, or an Empty Disc or a Zeraora, which is super freaking cool. All just by hanging out in battling. Which brings me to the battle tab. We talked about this before. This is your team. If you want to battle, you can either go into ranked or casual, or a preset team of the week. There's a leaderboard here. Ranked is obviously ranked, So I know that sounds like a silly sentence, but if you've ever played a game with a ranked mode before, understand that those are the people that are in with a strategy, that care, and they're feeling competitive. There are rewards for winning, and there are losses for losing. If you're not interested in that, or you just want to try out some new things, you can go to casual mode instead. It'll either let you pair up with a random person by just clicking OK, which we'll do right now. I have a casual team going, so while we wait for this, the other option is to actually coordinate with someone, which you can do in the Discord, and use a key, a code that you put in and that they put in, and the bot will sync you guys up. We're gonna wait here, and I'll come back when I actually have the match. Okay, that actually didn't take long. I'm here with this. I have this Talonflame here, and I'm playing with my Marshadow, and I'm gonna use Tailwind, and then I wait for the other player. They used Ember, and you know, it did a good amount of damage there, so I'm gonna hit continue. It is literally battling, right? So I'm gonna try Karate Chop. Talonflame is a flying type. It's not gonna do much. They're doing their thing, I'm doing my thing, and yeah, that didn't really do much. They came in with already health lost, then they used Gust. It was super effective against my fighting type Marshadow. So now I want to switch my Pokemon out, and I'm gonna send in Omanite because it's water type against the fire type. So I send in my Omanite, it used Gust, that's not very effective, but because I'm a low level, I don't have that much health. I hit continue, and now I'm going to use Water Pulse. Power Gem would actually work as well because it's a fire type and a flying type. So Water Pulse or Power Gem are both good moves. And at any point, you can choose to forfeit just like normal. Triple Kick is going to hurt, but then it stopped working, and I used Water Pulse and almost knocked it out. The Tailwind has stopped blowing. I'm going to use Water Pulse again. There are power points here. So I'm using up my PP just like you would in a regular game, and the health that I'm losing is health that I'm losing. If my Pokemon faint, I'm going to need to use those items. I'm not going to have you guys sit through this entire battle. I'm actually probably going to forfeit because I don't want to sit through this entire battle either, but I wanted to show you how battling works. We'll go into some of the details about strategy in a little while. Let's see if I can beat this Talonflame first. Oh, it's triple kicking. It got a crit hit, but I still survived, and I did actually beat it. If you feel like this is just too tough to kind of follow, you can open the panel up in another tab, and it'll make it bigger. They hit out their Toxicroak. I'm actually going to surrender, and that's the end of that battle. So casual, I don't feel bad doing that. It didn't affect my wins or losses on the leaderboard. Ranked, it would. So that's battling kind of in a nutshell real quick. Before we look into the Pokedex here, I'm going to pull back up the Discord and go over to this battle info channel just to show you a couple of important things about just specifics about battling, because for the most part it really does function exactly the same as you might be familiar with super effective moves and critical hits and speed and all that stuff. There are physical moves, there are special moves, there are status moves, but you can't choose individual moves for your Pokemon. So when you get a Pokemon, it'll come with 4 moves already. It'll have this spread of moves. It'll come with a normal type or coverage move, depending on the type of your Pokemon. It'll come with 2 stab moves, stab meaning the acronym for same type attack bonus. So if you are a fire type Pokemon, it'll come with 2 fire moves. If you're a bug fairy Pokemon, it'll come with a fairy move and a bug move, and then 1 coverage move after that. So those are the 4 moves that you'll end up having in terms of style of moves. Coverage for each move is outlined here. If your Pokemon has 2 types, then they can have any of the 6 coverage types. So normal Pokemon have coverage moves of Fighting, Psychic, or Dark. Those are to give you an advantage in places you might not normally have an advantage. They help your Pokemon be more versatile and allow it to fight more matchups that it would normally struggle with. So you could end up getting a normal move for Glare, 2 type moves of String Shot and Draining Kiss. This is again assuming you have this bug fairy type Pokemon up here. And then your coverage move would be Smog. Poison coverage moves are possible on bug types. If there are more details here that you need about type effectiveness, you can look at this chart. There are links and details and descriptions and just an entire battle guide made by someone who's way more fluent with the battle logic of the community game than I am. If you're familiar with me as a content creator, you know I'm a collector, not a battler. And the collection leads us to the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is, of course, the Pokedex. So I'm here on the Pokedex tab. It's the 4th tab over the book, and I've found 518 out of 898 possible Pokemon, which is 58% total. It's actually 69% of the spawnable Pokemon in the game. Now, what does spawnable mean? It means that legendary Pokemon, mythical Pokemon count as that, and starters won't spawn in a chat. So when you see a message in the chat that says, hey, this Pokemon spawned, it's never going to be a starter. It's never going to be a legendary. Unless there's an event going on that allows them to be spawnable for like a short time. And you can turn on or off the categories of spawnable, starter, or legendary. If you turn them all off, everything goes away. If you turn on only spawnable Pokemon, you'll see all of the Pokemon that can spawn normally, both the ones you have and the ones you don't have. If you want to look for Pokemon that you don't have and don't care about the ones you do have, click Show Missing. All of the ones you do have will go away, and all that's left are the ones you don't have. And you click Show Missing again, or Show All rather, and it brings it all back. Now, let's say instead, I only want to see the starters that I don't have. Starters, you'll see, have this little symbol next to them. All of the starters do. You get one, my apologies for scrolling, one starter for just joining, and then other starters via other means that we'll go over in a little while. If you click Show All again, it'll show you the one that I do have, which is just my Piplup. What's going on? There we go. Piplup and actually Snivy. So I got one extra starter via other means. Then we can add our legendaries back in, which come with a lock. And you'll see I do have a Raikou. And if we scroll, I have a Fione, a Xerneas, I have Cosmog, Kartana, and no, Marshadow. There they are. Mythicals are in here. I was looking for my Marshadow, which is shiny, even though you can't tell. Sometimes they'll spawn in events that you'll be able to find out about if you join their Discord. But everything you need about your Pokedex is here, and if you need to, you can search for any Pokemon. That is the Pokedex in its entirety. Click on something if you're interested in finding more out about it. That's the same page that gets brought up if you click on the question mark when you're looking at a Pokemon. Okay, the last part of the panel, and it's actually one of the coolest things out there, is missions. And missions are how you can get things you can't normally get. So missions respawn weekly, and they change weekly so that you have time to do the things, but also once you do all the things, you don't have to wait forever for new ones to show up. So right now, if I use 50 super effective moves, I'll get this Mood Mint, which again changes the nature of your Pokemon. If I participate in public battles with a flying type Pokemon 10 times, I'll get a Talonflame. Like, just straight up, they give it to you. You can get different types of balls, other Pokemon, like starters. You can get a Charmander just by catching Pokemon with Ultra Balls 3 times within the time frame of the missions. And when this timer counts down and goes away, then the missions change. That's everything about missions. Participate in them. If at any time you think you need to see something change in the panel, the extension here, and it's like not refreshing for whatever reason, you click the force refresh button and it will refresh everything for you. So that's the panel in its entirety. I have one more thing to talk about, and then a couple of little specific quirks I want to mention. The commands are the first thing here. If you want to start, or if you want your people in your chat to know how to start using this bot, they have to use the command PokeStart, which is explained to you if you try to respond to the command without having started. So if a Pokemon spawns and someone in your chat goes PokeCatch, because the prompt tells them to do that, it'll be like, hey, you don't have your trainer ID yet, use PokeStart. It'll start your journey, it'll give you your starter, your trainer ID, and then you can actually start using the bot appropriately, which leads us to the PokeBuddy. As I mentioned before, you can use this to show off your favorite Pokemon. You can use PokePass to see how much money you have, but again, that can also be done in the extension, so I recommend you look there instead. You can use Pokeballs by typing PokeCatch and then whatever ball type you want to use. So if you don't type a ball, it's going to throw a Pokeball. If you want to use a different ball, you've got to type that ball. PokeCatch Ghost Ball, PokeCatch Ultra Ball, PokeCatch Great Cherish Ball. That's how that works. If you want to buy one, you can go to the panel and actually buy it in the shop so that you can save the chat from the spam, or you can use PokeShop space item name first quantity second. Again, I highly recommend you buy Pokeballs in groups of 10. Periodically, there will be raids or other events going on, and you can use PokeRaid to see what that is. You can check your Pokedex in chat, or you can use the panel. You can check the Poke Daily in the Discord. That won't work in the chat. Or you can check to see if you have a Pokemon. So this happens frequently. People will use Pokecatch and then immediately Pokecheck to see if they caught it, or they'll go the other way around. Maybe they see a Pokemon and they're like, do I have this yet? Pokecheck, yes I do. I don't care to catch it. No I don't. All right, let's try it out. So that's all that. That's the basics of this command. This document here will also be available in the panel or the description of this video. It gives items descriptions of everything, how much they sell for, how much they you can sell them for, what they do, all of the ball types and their catch rates, their effectiveness, what they might have if they have extra bonuses. You know, the earlier you use the Pokeball, the better the Quick Ball is going to be. The later it's used, the better the timer is going to be. There's more detail in here that you can look through, including a full FAQ. I just had a crazy coughing fit. Okay, so a couple of things that worth mentioning. Like I said, quirks of the bot. If you change your Twitch name, it's not gonna know who you are. You'll want to go over either to Jonas's channel or Demon Rider's channel. Both of them will work, and use the command PokeUpdate, and it'll update it in their database with your new Twitch name. So then the bot will recognize you. If there's, you know, here's another really important thing: evolving. And so I'm really sorry. This is the piece that I wanted to get to, and that's why I kept it up on the screen. Pokemon don't evolve. That is the quirk of this game. They want to implement it, but it hasn't been added yet. So Pokemon cap at level 20, and they don't evolve. So if you want a Talonflame, you actually have to catch a Talonflame. If you have a Fletchinder, it's not going to evolve into a Talonflame. Sorry. Maybe eventually, but right now it doesn't. So that's really the big thing there. So now let's just refresh and go over everything in summary on what you need to do. Quick version. Get the extension, install it, activate it, go to a Twitch chat. I don't have mine open, and hit Pokestart. Then you want to make your way down to the Discord. It'll be in the description. Streamer info gives you everything you need as a streamer, and then get whitelisted as a streamer. You click this button here. If there are any problems, it will let you know. Those two things, adding the extension and whitelisting yourself, are everything you need to do in order to get this bot rolling. The more specific things, not necessary, but kind of add to the overall experience. A lot of things going on in here in the Discord that you can look into, including, apparently, the worst Pokemon out there. There's also chats in other languages, and arts and memes and flexes, and just a whole lot of fun and interaction. It's a massive community with over like 500,000 people using the bot, and like, I don't know, just thousands and thousands and thousands of people that stream with the bot. So welcome to a community of amazing people that are all super willing to support each other and have fun. That's pretty much it. Welcome to the Pokemon community game. So if there's anything, hold on, let's do this. If there's anything that you think I missed, any questions you have, any clarifications you need, or corrections even, maybe something changes and you think that this video needs to be updated, let me know in the video, in the comments down below. If you liked it, let me know. Just tell me nice things. Tell me you think I'm pretty, because I think you're pretty, and I appreciate you sticking around for this tutorial. So thank you. Take Two actually is unmuted this time, and we got through it, chat. So I'll see you on twitch.tv/brich14. Come say hi and catch some Pokemon. In the meantime, peace out. I love you.